MXR released a new pedal to start off 2024. It is called the Joshua Ambient Echo. And I don't know if it's a coincidence that U2's probably most famous album is called The Joshua Tree, and the Edge is known for his great use of delay. But let's go ahead and dig into this really, really cool sounding pedal to start our year. Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily, and I hope your 2024 is everything you want it to be. Let's talk about the Joshua, but first things first, thank you to Sweetwater for sending me this to demo. Sweetwater is a great place to buy things related to music and visual stuff now. They have cameras, they have hard drives, all kinds of amazing things. So if there's anything you want to pick up and Sweetwater has it, I would love it if you use the affiliate link in the video description. It's a great way to support this channel doing things you were probably going to do anyway, and I know that Sweetwater is going to take great care of you. I'm using my Fender Ventera 2 Series Jazzmaster in the Benson Chimera plugin. But let's talk about the controls. We do have a CTR, that's control. You can use that in a few different ways. There's a toggle on the side. You can use it with an expression pedal, for example, which is how I was using it earlier to control the time of the delay. We also have two soft buttons at the top. The one on the right is for bypass trails. So do you want trails on or off? You can set that mode right from the top, which is great because a lot of pedals where you can control that, you have to open it up. So I love seeing that on the face. We also have a second echo for more fun. Full disclosure, I didn't get a manual with this pedal, so some of the things I'm going to be saying are just going to be how they are to my ear, and that is going to be one of those things to my ear and my eye. So let's move on to the actual knobs. The upper left there, that is the delay time. Goes from very fast to very slow. I don't have actual math for that one, so I'm not sure how many milliseconds, but I can tell you it gets flat backy and it doesn't get overly slow. After that, we have modulation. That's like a chorus vibrato situation. To my ear, turning it seems to increase both the rate and the depth, but I might change my mind as I'm filming this demo or in post-production. To the right of that, I should say, the far right on the top, that is voice. And to my ear again, that's the important thing here, that sounds like an octave up and down on the trail. So it doesn't keep going up and down like some do, but it just sounds like one octave up and down to me. After that, we have region. That's the number of repeats. It can go from 1 to not self-oscillating, but just never ending. And I think if you're not gonna have self-oscillating, at least have that. It actually sounds really cool. We'll have some fun with that. We also have divisions. This does have tap tempo. If you hold down the foot switch, you can tap it in. After that, you have the mix. And I don't believe it gets 100% wet, but we will find out right now. Does not go 100% wet. So I'm going to turn that to about the middle. We're going to see how fast we can get that region really quickly. Whoa. Let's turn it and make it fast. Nice. So that's a little fast. Let's go ahead and turn it to the middle. I'll turn the region to the middle as well. Nice. So I'm going to start with the voice. Let's go ahead and blend some of that in. It's not very apparent yet. Let's go ahead and turn that some more. You can start to hear it. You really crank it though. You get kind of that organ-esque sort of sound. That low octave especially gives that kind of Addams Family-esque kind of sound. And all the way. I'll turn up the mix too. Turn that back down. And oh, I mean, I'm gonna turn that all the way down for now. And let's add some modulation a little at a time. I'm actually going to change my pickup back to the middle position. Get rid of that 60 cycle hum. Sorry about that. Maybe I should have turned off trails. It's a very slight modulation. I think it sounds really, really pretty. A little bit more. Sounds really pretty. Let's go ahead and crank it and see how that sounds. I'm gonna be honest, I've played a lot of modulated delays and some of them get a little too weird. Even max, that still sounds really musical to me and not like a joke. Let's crank both of these. The voice goes up as well. The thing for me with the voice on that is it almost just sounds like you're using an octave pedal that has kind of wonky tracking. At least when it's turned up, because it's just so apparent. And I bet if we really turned up the speed on that and only had one delay, it would just really sound like weird tracking. I actually kind of did that as a joke, but I think it's actually pretty fun. All right, let's make some more kind of normal stuff. Let's gonna get rid of the modulation in the voice just so we can hear these divisions. So let's... You can actually hear when the division changes, which I think is kind of funny. So let's go ahead and key in a tapped tempo and add in this echo too. I'm never sure how well the lights are going to show up on my secondary camera here, but I hope you can see that when I'm down to the quarter note of the subdivision that they're both flashing at the same rate. And as I turn to another subdivision, it's actually the main light that gets changed. I would expect that to be the secondary, but it does make enough sense. Make more repeats for us, and I'm just going to turn it up to this subdivision here. And I'm going to toggle the secondary echo on and off. It emphasizes that one, and I'm sure this is not surprising to plenty of people. So you can see it doesn't really get self-oscillating, but one thing that I do think is kind of funny and fun with this pedal is what I was just doing, cranking up the region all the way. It's not self-oscillating really, but it is doing something really cool when you turn the divisions. If that didn't sell you on this pedal, I don't know. I don't know what would. Hello from future Emily. I filmed this video without a manual and I'm very happy with how it turned out. So I didn't really want to refilm it, but there are a few things I wanted you to know. This actually can do a stereo out. There are two ways to do stereo out. The first way is to use a TRS to dual TS, that's like a Y cable, going out of the output from this pedal. You would then hold down the Echo 2 button and turn the voice all the way clockwise, that's to the right, to engage that. That would be personally my preferred way of running this pedal, especially if this was not the last pedal in my signal chain and if it was going into a stereo reverb. The other way to do that is to plug one instrument cable into the CTR output as well. So that would take away your ability to use expression control or tap control, so to tap in a tempo. So personally, I would prefer to use the Y cable method, but either way technically works. If you're not using expression control or if you don't have an external tap, that would be just fine to use the CTR. As for expression, I've mentioned that I was kind of fooling around with the expression pedal and I felt like it was controlling the time. That's not strictly true. Technically, you can set the expression control on a pedal to morph between two completely different modes. So you can have like one setting and a secondary setting. The other thing is you could have an external tap. That would be primarily tap tempo, but you could hold that down for a freeze mode. There are more advanced settings. I'm not really going to get into these. I might kind of list off a few right now, but if you hold down the Echo 2 or the Trails button at the top, that unlocks secondary and tertiary settings. Examples are on the Echo 2, you can control hard or soft flashing, symmetrical regeneration, stereo mode is already mentioned, Echo 2 tap divisions, Echo 2 repeats, and Echo mix. On the Trails is Trails mode flashing, modulation, rate. By default, which I do mention in this video, my ear was not wrong. By default, the mod knob controls both the depth and the rate of the modulation. It also serves as a high cut filter that can help. Apparently the voice is, I'm going to look that up in a second, but that might have helped with some of the things I'm hearing in the voice when I was filming and also in the post-production for that. So those are great to know. I don't love hidden features like that in a pedal. I think secondary modes is pushing it and tertiary modes is a lot. That being said, these aren't, I think, make or break features. These are like fine tuning stuff. So it's nice that they have it there. But again, when there's a secondary mode, I really want it to still be obvious on the face of the pedal. And I've not really seen a lot of pedals with tertiary modes. Let's get back to the voice because I say this later. The voice knob adjusts a mix of 1 octave down and 1 and 2 octaves above in the region. So I was very close there with my ear. I wonder if I had accidentally set something with a high cut filter that made it that second octave up a little bit less obvious. But thank you for watching this break. Let's get back to the rest of the demo. That was, of all the pedals that I've played in the past like 6 months, several of them have been almost more in the line of an instrument than a pedal. I wasn't expecting this one to fall into that category for me, but holy moly, that was really cool. That was fun. Listen, this pedal can do relatively simple delay stuff. It does get a little slap backy, though. It doesn't have that kind of like analog snap to it that I generally like if I'm doing a slap back. It can do very normal delay stuff. It can do really unique delay stuff. It is a small footprint pedal that has quite a lot packed into it, and it can make some really wild sounds. I think they're very right in calling this kind of an ambient echo. It's really cool. I am torn on how I feel about the voice thing being sounding to my ear like the octave. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry if anything I say is just not facts, but I didn't get a manual. So it's very much sounds like an octave up and down. It has a kind of organ-esque sound, but it can do some interesting things. It can sound like a really wonky tracking, which is a sound that a lot of people like. I know most people do prefer very good tracking when they're doing octave stuff. If you like kind of imperfect tracking, you can do kind of a slap back on this with that, and it will sound like that octave up and down. You can't control, it has to be both, it sounds like, but it's really cool. I was surprised by this pedal, and I really dig it. If you dig it, please consider using the Sweetwater affiliate link in the video description. If you like this video and you're watching during the premiere, you can drop a super chat. If you're watching later and want to say thanks, you can do that below. Please like, comment, subscribe. It's my favorite way to support the channel. Tell your favorite brands about Get Offset. Thank you again to Sweetwater. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/getoffset, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.